Hi, everyone. Let's see. Hi, Jewel.
When I see you with the fresh blowout, looks
Thank
great.
you.
Have you-
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. Can you hear me clearly? Our Wi-Fi is kind of down, so I'm using my data.
Okay. Is the connection okay on my end?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
cool, cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying this wintry weather. I thought we were, out of the woodwork for winter season, but we're still here. I'll give it like 2 more weeks before I start to file complaints.
Yeah, I literally left my stuff. I went to Michigan and I left my winter stuff at home. So,
No.
yeah, because I thought we were over the hump, but it's okay. I'll just stay inside as much as I can. Yeah. Excited to be on here with you. I think this is our first time.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Guys, it's an honor.
it's an honor. Okay, let me go ahead and pin that comment. Let me know whenever you're ready. And
Right.
then,
Um, so hi everyone. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Whitman-Walker's Community Health Department has expanded its outreach efforts to the social media platform. We cover various topics like HIV, STIs, sexual health practices, access to care, social determinants of health, and public health interventions in general. But overall, we are here to help educate and support you. My name is Jewel, and I use she, her, hers pronouns.
and hi, my name is Ibuku, and I use she, her, hers pronouns as well.
Awesome. So today we'll be discussing the importance of respecting all women on this platform, as well as talking about the importance of celebrating Women's History Month, and not just during the month of March, but year round. Because why not celebrate women?
Yeah, exactly. So let's just give a brief history about, how did National Women's History Month come about. So this month actually began on March 8th in 1857 when women from various New York City factories staged a protest over working in poor working conditions. So more than 7 decades later, Congress in 1981 established the National Women's History Week to be celebrated during the second week of March. So it's expanded from, being like a one-day thing to now being a week-long celebration. And now we're celebrating Women's History Month, specifically in the month of March. And this began in 1987 when Congress passed a resolution that designated March as National Women's History Month.
Woo, woo. Uh, and as we reflect on the work and advances made by women over the last few decades, it's really important and key to recognize the importance of respecting all women. Anyone who identifies as a woman deserves the same dignity and respect that should be shown to any woman and ultimately any human being. Respecting women has many levels to it, from equal pay and opportunity for career and education advancement to equitable access to affirming healthcare. There are many ways to respect women. It's also the language that we use to address women and the tone that we use when we do so. It's calling someone by the name they share with you and not by anything outside of that name. Those are just a few foundational blocks for showing respect to women.
Exactly. So another key area is pronouns. So whenever you introduce yourself to someone, it is always good practice to share your pronouns as you do. So that way you're inviting others to share their pronouns with you the same way. And also once you've learned someone's pronouns, please respect them. We're human, and if you do catch yourself, having a slip of tongue and, misgendering someone, simply just apologize and correct yourself and move on. But do not draw extra attention to your slip up.
Exactly. That said, at Whitman-Walker, we use this platform here on social media, specifically Instagram Live, to share information, resources, and education to help our listeners and audience lead healthier lives. And we are super appreciative of everyone who tunes in and engages with us and just want to share a few guidelines for this space. We come to this space as humans, as colleagues, community, and employees at Whitman-Walker. We expect everyone who joins this space with us to treat our team members with dignity and respect and compassion. We expect comments and messages that reflect dignity and respect and compassion, and engagement that reflects our humanity. That said, if we experience the opposite from trolls or commenters or the like, we will block that individual from engaging with our content, out of respect for our team and our colleagues. We thank you for your understanding and for living up to those guidelines with us.
Yeah. So now we just would like to take a little bit of time to highlight a few history-making women as we kick off Women's History Month. So this is sourced from NBC News, the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, GLAD, and May is all about trans. So first up, we're going to talk about Gladys Bentley. So Gladys Bentley lived from 1907 to 1960. Bentley was a gender-bending performer during the Harlem Renaissance. Donning a top hat and tuxedo, Bentley would sing the blues in Harlem establishments like the Clam House and the Ubangi Club. According to a belated obituary published in 2019, the New York Times said Bentley, who died in 1960 at the age of 52, was Harlem's most famous lesbian in the 1930s and among the best-known Black entertainers in the United States.
Next up, we've got Sylvia Rivera. Sylvia was a veteran of the 1969 Stonewall Uprising and was a tireless advocate for those who have been marginalized as the gay rights movement has been mainstreamed. Sylvia fought hard against the exclusion of transgender people from the Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act in New York, and was a loud and persistent voice for the rights of people of color and low-income queers and trans people. This project works to continue, there's a project named after her called the Sylvia Rivera Law Project. And so they have a project that works to continue Sylvia's work by centralizing issues of systemic poverty and racism and prioritizing the struggles of queer and trans people who face the most severe and multifaceted discrimination. If you want to learn more about them, just visit the Sylvia Rivera Law Project.org, I believe is the website, and you can kind of get up to date with the cool work that they're doing and the life-saving work that they're doing.
So the next person we want to talk about is Brenda Howard. So Brenda Howard she was born on December 24th, 1946, and she lived till June 28th, 2005. Brenda Howard was heavily involved in planning the first Pride event in 1970 after coordinating rallies to commemorate the 1 month, 1 year, and subsequent anniversaries of the Stonewall Rebellion of 1969. So Brenda Howard is known by some as Mother of Pride. Brenda is widely credited with coming up with the modern idea of the week-long Pride event that we see celebrated internationally. Initially active in the feminist and anti-war movements, in 1987, she turned more towards bisexual-specific organizing with organizations like BINET USA and the New York Area Bisexual Network. We can also link these in the once we post this. She also helped plan dozens of marches and brought issues of bisexual representation to the forefront in the queer community and worked for kink and polyamory visibility. Sadly, she passed away from cancer in 2005, but her legacy continues to live on Pride celebrations worldwide.
And next up, we've got Stormy Delivery. She was a biracial butch lesbian and was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, and was always a performer. As a teenager, she joined the Ringling Brothers Circus, where she rode jumping horses. And then from 1955 to 1969, she toured the Black Theater Circus as the MC and only drag king of the Jewel Box Revue. This was the first racially integrated drag revue in North America. She worked as a bouncer for several lesbian bars in New York City in the 80s and 90s and held a number of leadership positions in the Stonewall Veterans Association. Delivery also served the community as a volunteer street patrol worker and as a result was called the guardian of lesbians in the village. Beyond her LGBTQ activism, Delivery also organized and performed at fundraisers for women who suffered from domestic violence and their children. She was alive from 1920 to 2014.
The next person we have is Lorraine Hansberry, and she was born in 1930 but passed away in 1965. So Hansberry was an activist and playwright, best known for her groundbreaking play, A Raisin in the Sun, which is about a struggling Black family on Chicago's South Side. After the play's release, Hansberry became the first Black playwright and youngest American to win a New York Critics Circle Award. A Raisin in the Sun, named after a line in Langston Hughes' poem, Harlem, a Dream Deferred, opened at New York City's Ethel Barrymore Theater in March 1959, becoming the first play written by an African American woman to be produced on Broadway. This iconic work was then made into a 1961 film starring Sidney Poitier and Ruby Dee. So prior to A Raisin in the Sun, Hansberry, who never publicly acknowledged she was a lesbian, joined lesbian rights group Daughters of Bilitis and contributed letters about feminism and homophobia to its magazine, The Ladder, according to the LGBTQ historian Eric Marcus, host of the Making Gay podcast. So Marcus notes that Hansberry didn't officially come out until nearly a half century after her death, when in 2014, her estate unsealed diaries and other writings in which she reveals her sexuality. So Hansberry died in 1965 at just the age of 34 due to pancreatic cancer.
Thank you for sharing. I remember watching that in school one time, the Sidney Poitier.
Know that.
Next up, or last up, I should say, we've got Savannah Wander. Savannah Wander has been a community activist for over 20 years, and during that time, and with the support of Regina Newkirk and Dave Mallory, she founded Trans Pride in 2007. In 2018, she made her second vision come to life with an event called May Is All About Trans. This is a month-long celebration of being, living, and loving transgender people. To bring leadership for the first year, Savannah handpicked 8 super diverse superstar community members that make up the board of directors of May Is. And during her years of service to the community, she has achieved many milestones, including being the first trans woman to serve on the Whitman-Walker Health Board of Directors, also being the first trans woman to serve on the Capitol Pride Board and the DC Flux Chair. And as DC Flux Chair. She's also been a Trans 101 facilitator and co-facilitated the Transdimensional Support Group from 2016 to 2017, as well as been a co-sponsor for various youth-focused mentor and employment programs. She's received several community awards and honors and is just a tireless advocate for the transgender community here in the DMV and around the globe. She is a rock star, and we're so grateful to have her leadership and advice and her help to kind of build out our trans and gender affirming care program over the years.
Thanks for sharing about her. I didn't actually know Savannah, so thank you. But we just wanted to ask if any of our viewers had any thoughts, any questions about the women we shared, or if you had any other women you wanted to kind of like showcase. And if we don't have any comments, we do have to leave off our lives with a few reminders about COVID-19 and the vaccines. So the CDC recently relaxed the masking guidance, stating that you mostly don't need to wear a mask anywhere unless indoors or in a crowded space. So yay for literal breath of fresh air from mask mandates. But if you've already been vaccinated, congrats. You've taken a really important step to preventing yourself, your loved ones, and your communities from illness. The Omicron variant has soared across the United States at the moment, and it is totally understandable why you might want to keep wearing your mask. The vaccine isn't 100% effective, and as more contagious variants continue spreading, there are fewer protocols in place to actually verify that the folks around you are vaccinated or not. So just keep on staying alert and, continue wearing your mask, even though the mask mandate has been lifted. And also, if you haven't been vaccinated and you are looking for an appointment, we do just want to remind you that Whitman-Walker does offer the COVID-19 vaccine. So everyone ages 12 and up is eligible to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine, and everyone ages 16 and up are eligible to receive any of the COVID-19 vaccines available. So you can call us at 202-207-2480 to make an appointment. And if you're having any trouble making appointments with us and you are a DMV resident, you can, for DC residents, you can check out vaccinate.dc.gov, or you can call 1-855-363-0333 to make an appointment. If you live in Maryland, you can check out covidlink.maryland.gov, or you can call 855-634-6829. And if you live in Virginia, you can call 877-829-4682, or check out vaccinate.virginia.gov. And if you haven't been vaccinated and you are not looking for an appointment, we are asking you to please continue to follow the CDC guidelines for mask wearing, quarantining, social distancing, all the other, safety precautions you can take. So it's really important that you consider getting the vaccine and talking to your providers, talking to the people around you, discussing COVID precautionary measures with the people you're living with, and also just be mindful of the importance of wearing your mask and how the masks work. And also just continue to keep your distance, especially because you don't know whether the person next to you is vaccinated or not. And finally, thank you, Dom. Finally, I would like to remind everyone to please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all that, at Whitman-Walker. And please check out our website at www.whitman-walker.org for the most up-to-date information on our services. And, we offer more than COVID-19 resources, so you can always find that information on any of those platforms. And we would also like for you to follow our other Whitman-Walker programs, such as at Real Talk DC _ and at No Filter DC. And you can call us at 202-797-4439. That was a lot. But yeah, that's all we have for you this evening.
Yeah, well, thanks you all and learning about Women's History Month and some really stellar women's history, and also about how to respect all women on this platform and just being a compassionate and respectful and dignifying person in this space with us. We thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for holding this space with us, and we'll see you guys on Friday. We have a live coming up on Friday, so
See you then. Bye, everyone.
Well, bye, everyone.